Okay.
It's on that, and it's not on this lot, your lot, it's on this other lot.
No, we're just curious as to who watched it.
Yeah, you got plenty of room down there. Won't even interfere with digging a grave. The tree might, the tree will. I don't know exactly which way you gotta look when that cliff happens.
Well, like, it starts at 1, a little after 1.
Oh, I thought it was on the side. But at 2:29, I think is when it's like
Completed. So you're kind of around 1:30-ish, I think.
You wanna start?
Well, we're not going to see anything like we're going to see
really.
I mean, it's still going to be see the money that people make off of that down there.
Yeah.
Hotel room, $600.
It's going to be a lot.
For a minute or two down there.
Down there, last up to, I think they said 2.5 minutes. When that happens, the stars will come out, and when the stars will be fully out, animals will
Oop, I gotta
take
go.
off like it's nighttime.
Wait a minute, Jim.
I'll catch you later. I gotta go.
Do you have to go?
Yeah. Office call me.
Okay.
Hi, Jimmy.
Tell him we said hello.
I
That's why.
absolutely love that.
I'm glad you do. Turned out how we, envisioned it.
Phase 4.
Thank you, guys.
Yep.
You know why that's put on there? Because 33 years ago, it's a really long story, and you're not on filming right now.
I like your idea of putting some white,
Yeah, I think it would look good.
what kind of stone should we get? Is it
Marble.
White marble?
Yeah, you just have to get that approved through Tom. Make sure it's okay.
Yeah. What would it be, just around where the concrete is, or?
All the way underneath, I would put it.
Okay.
Under the whole bottom so they don't have to get around it with a trimmer.
Yeah. June's been walking over here for 32 years.
Yeah. That's a long time.
This is where I took her first walk when I first met her.
Really?
After I first met her, yeah, I met her down at Charlie McKeever's restaurant. Pat Wollenzak, Pat Zarbo, Pat Walker. She was a high school student at Simon Kenton, and she came down to see me, her and some of the girls, and asked me if I would sponsor a girls softball team for them.
Yeah.
And I said sure. So I did, from Simon Kenton, where I went to high school. And then later in life, she came back to me and she said, I hope you don't mind, but I've invited a lady to your picnic tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so I said, no, Pat, invite anybody you want to. And so she invited Miss June to the picnic. So she said, come on up here, I want you to meet her. So I headed up after finishing about half my supper there with her, and laid my eyes on Miss June, and I said, oh my goodness gracious, invite her to my picnic any day.
Yeah.
So I went on up and met her, and I put some of my best moves on her. And I mean, I really put the moves on her. And I asked her, I said, well, do you mind if I have your telephone number? And she said, I think not. And so I said, well, that's okay. So I picked up a Charlie McKeever's coaster, wrote the address on it and my phone number and directions to the house. And I said, come on over to the picnic tomorrow. You'll enjoy yourself. No strings attached. Come on over and enjoy yourself. So the next day at the picnic, Pat Wallenczak must have called her up again and then re-invited her. And so she said, okay, I'll come. So she came and come walking around the back of the house. Had about 75 people there. And volleyball net was up. And I saw her coming around the corner of the house. I walked right into the volleyball net, fell over, tripped over a chair, and got up and said, what do you like to do? She said, well, I like to walk. And I said, well, let's go for a walk. So we left everybody at the house, and we came walking up here at the cemetery and all through Fort Mitchell. And by the time we got back, there was only one person left at the house.
Oh, God.
So down at the bottom of the street right there were Virginia Kotoris, who was a great neighbor of ours, who had a beautiful flower garden all through her property there, which later we bought a piece of property from her and built the second house, actually the third house, there on Beechwood Road.
Yeah.
And I reached over and grabbed her hand by the little wishing well, pulled her over to me and planted a big kiss on her, and I said, this is the lady for me. So 4 years later, we got married and took off to Europe. And traveled through Europe on our honeymoon and filmed it all, put it all on television, the history of Europe by train.
Really?
So that's quite a
That's
quite a love story, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And today, 32 years later, she still has that coaster that I gave her sitting on the desk there at the house.
Really?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Unique stories.
Yes, it is.
Stories of life. Travels with the Stevensons, 859-750-0000. We want to thank the Lewin Monument and all their folks for being so helpful in getting the bench set up here and doing it properly, and having some wonderful material from China or India, wherever it came from. It's beautiful. And we'll go around and film the other side. We'll head on to phase 5 here in a minute. Very pretty picture of June and I dancing at the ball when we got elected superintendent of education in the Capitol Rotunda, and a recent picture of June and I over on the other side.